بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على خاتم الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. These are some review exercises about chapter 1. Chapter 1 is about linear equations and functions. And let us start by question 4, solve the equations. So solve this equation. If you remember, we have denominators 2 and 3. So the LCD here would be 3 times 2, which is 6. So I will multiply both sides of this equation by 6. So 6 times 2x plus 6 times half equals 6 times x over 2 plus 6 times 1 over 3. Okay, so I get 12x. 6 over 2 here is 3. 6 over 2 is 3, so 3x. 6 over 3 is 2. And all the denominators disappeared, so now 12x minus 3x is just 9x, and 2 minus 3 is negative 1. I divide by 9, so x is negative 1 over 9. This is the solution of question 4. Another question, solve this equation. We have x in the denominator, so this is a fractional equation. Notice that 2x plus 14 is 2 times x plus 7, and we have x plus 7 here. So the LCD would be, in this case, we have 2 and we have 3, so it's 6, and we have x plus 7. So the LCD will be 6 times x plus 7. Let me multiply all the terms by 6x plus 7, which is the LCD. This is the left-hand side. We also multiply 1 over 3 and x minus 11 over 2x plus 14. And by the way, it's better now to write 2x plus 14, to write it 2 times x plus 7. So I will have the following. Here these two cancels, and I have 6 times 2x, which is 12x, and 6 times 5, which is 30, equals. Now 6 divided by 3 is 2, so I have 2x plus 2 times 7, which is 14. Now x plus 7 divided by x plus 7, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. So I have 3 times x, and 3 times 11, 33. So I have 12x, and here you have 2x plus 3x. This is 5x. If you take it to the other side, it will be negative 5x. And now in the right-hand side, I have 14 minus 33, which is negative 19. And I bring 30 to the other side. So I will have 12 minus 5 is 7. So 7x is equal to negative 19 minus 30. Negative 19 minus 30 is negative 49. Now I divide both sides by 7, and x would be negative 7. Now if you go back to the question and look to the question carefully, this is a fractional equation, x plus 7 in the denominator. So in fact, x cannot be negative 7, because negative 7 is not in the denominator. It is not in the domain of this fraction. It will make the denominator 0. So this makes denominator 0, which means the solution set of the original equation would be the empty set, or phi. Here, solve the inequality and graph the solution. I have a denominator 3, so I will multiply everything by 3. So 3 times 5x is 15x, and 3 times 1 is 3. And if you multiply the right-hand side by 3, it cancels with the 3 in the denominator, and I have 2. 2 times x is 2x, and 2 times 6 is negative 12. So 15x minus 2x would be 13x. Negative 12 minus 3 is negative 15. So x would be greater than or equal to negative 15 over 13. So if we graph this on the number line, this is negative infinity, this is infinity. If this is the number negative 15 over 13, x is greater than, so it's to the right of this number. So the solution would be from negative 15 over 13 to infinity. That's the solution set. What are the domain and range of this function? This is a square root, so 9 minus x should be positive. We cannot accept a negative number inside the square root, otherwise it's not real. So 9 is greater than or equal to x, or x is less than or equal to 9. So the domain is from negative infinity to 9, because less than or equal to 9 means from negative infinity to 9. What about the range? Well, the range, the possible values of y, I can see that y here is a square root, so it's always positive. It would be 0 if x is 9. So I can say that the range is from 0 to infinity. Find f of x plus h, the difference quotient. So let me find immediately f of x plus h minus f of x over h. To find f of x plus h, I replace x in the question by x plus h. So I'll have 9 times x plus h instead of x, and I'll have negative x plus h square instead of x square. So this is f of x minus h minus f of x. Well, f of x is 9x minus x square, and all of this is divided by h. Now I have 9x plus 9h expanding, and I have here square of a binomial, so it's x squared plus 2hx plus h squared, and I have minus 9x plus x to the power 2 when you distribute the negative sign over h. So I can see that 9x cancels with 9x, and I'll have 9h minus x squared. Now multiply the negative in all the terms, minus 2hx minus h squared, and I have plus x squared over h. I can see that negative x squared cancels with x squared, and I can take h as a common factor from these three terms. So I'll have 9 minus 2x, because h is a common factor, minus h squared. I take h because h outside, one h outside. Now I cancel h with h, and the final answer would be 9 minus 2x minus h. Another question. This is f, this is g. Find f plus g. By definition, this is equal to f of x plus g of x. So it is 3x plus 5 plus x squared. Or if you want, you can write them in order. So this is the answer. F over g, by definition, is f of x over g of x. So this is 3x plus 5 over x squared. If circle g of x, this is f of, now we put g of x, which is x squared, and then we go to the definition of f and replace x by x squared. So we'll have 3x squared instead of x, and plus 5. So this would be f circle g of x. F circle f of x, we write f of x. Well, the definition of f, 3x plus 5. And now we need to find f of 3x plus 5. So from f of x, we replace each x. So 3 times x. Now this x is replaced by 3x plus 5. and then we add the 5. So f of x is 3x plus 5, and we need to find f of 3x plus 5, so replace x by 3x plus 5. That's it. So this x would be 3x plus 5, and we will have the 3 and 5 as it is. So the answer is 9x plus 3 times 5, 15, and plus 5, that's 20. So the answer of part D is 9x plus 20. Find the intercepts and the graph. Well, the x-intercept, we put y0, so we have 5x equals 10 or x equals 2. For the y-intercept, we put x0, so we have 2y equals 10 or y equals 5. Now to graph this line, we plot the x-intercept, it is 2, and the y-intercept is 5, and we connect these 2 points to sketch the graph of the line. X equals -2, this is a vertical line, 1, 2, so this is the graph of the vertical line x equals -2. The y-intercept is none, there is no y-intercept. The x-intercept is -2. Find the slope and y-intercept of each line. Well, to find the slope and the y-intercept, I need to write it in the slope-intercept form. So I need to solve this equation for y. So 5y would be -2x plus 10, and then we divide by 5. So -2 over 5x plus 10 over 5, which is 2. So the slope is -2 over 5, and the y-intercept is 2. That's the answer of 29. Now, write the equation of each line described. We need here the equation of the line. We have the slope and the y-intercept, so we can use this form, slope-intercept form. Slope is -½ plus 3. mx plus b -½ x plus b. We have a point and slope. We use the point slope form. So y minus y1, which is 1, equals 2 over 5 slope times x minus -2 or plus 2. So that's the equation, and you can write it in terms of y. You can solve this equation for y, or you can leave it like this. Now write the equation where that passes through these 2 points, of the line passes through these 2 points. So I have x1, y1 here, x2, y2 here. We have 2 points. We need a point and slope to use this form. So let me find the slope. The slope is delta y over delta x. So it is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So -4 minus 7 is -11. 6 plus 2 is 8. So that's the slope. So the equation would be y minus 7 equals -11 over 8 times x plus 2. This would be the equation of the line, and you can solve it for y if you like. Another similar question, but if you find the slope of this line, it would be -1 minus 8 over -1 minus -1, and you notice that the denominator is 0. Actually, you notice from the beginning that the same x, so there is no change in x here, so the slope is undefined. And if the slope is undefined, then the line is vertical and it has the equation x equals 2, and the x coordinate here is -1. So this would be the equation of this line. Through 1, 6 and parallel to this line. We need to find the equation that passes through this point and parallel to this line. Well, it's parallel to this line, so they have the same slope, and we can see that the slope is 4. So y minus 6 would be equal to 4 times x minus 1. This would be the equation of the line. Now, if the two lines are perpendicular, let us find the slope of this line first. So let us write it in the slope intercept form. So 4y equals negative 3x plus 12. We take 3x to the other side, and then we divide by 4. So 12 divided by 4 is 3. So the slope of this line is negative 3 over 4. So the slope of our line, since they are perpendicular, would be, we find the reciprocal and multiply by a negative sign, so it would be 4 over 3. Now if you multiply m1 times m, the answer is negative 1. So the equation would be y minus 2 equals 4 over 3 times x plus 1. Solve this system of equations. Well, the coefficient of x and y, there is no 1 as a coefficient, so I will use elimination here. If I look to the coefficients carefully, I have positive 2 and negative 3 here, 3 and 2. So I will multiply the first equation by 3, and I will multiply the second equation by 2. When I do that, I will have 9x plus 3 times 2, 6y equals 15. And the second equation would be 2 times 2, 4x minus 6y equals 24. And when I add, y will cancel, y will be cancelled, and I'll have 9 plus 4, that's 13. X equals 39. So when I divide by 13, it's clear that x is 3. Now I can put this 3 in any equation. For example, in the second equation, so 2 times 3 minus 3y is 12. I solve this equation and find the value of y. So 6 minus 12 is negative 6. And if you take 3y to the other side, then we divide by 3. So negative 6 over 3 is negative 2. So the solution of this equation system would be the ordered pair 3 and negative 2. Well, the second equation here is solved by y for y, so I can use substitution here. I can immediately start by the first equation and replace y in the first equation by its value from the second equation, okay? And I solve this equation, I find the value of x, okay? So I'll have 6x and then 3 minus 2x, this is minus 6x, and plus 3 equals 1. Well, now 6x cancels with 6x, and I have 3 equals 1, and this is not correct. 3 cannot be equal to 1. So this means that this system has no solution, and the solution set is phi. And it means also that these two lines are parallel lines. Okay. Another question, solve this system. We will use the left to right to the left to right elimination method. So if you remember, we have to eliminate x from the last equation using the x in the first equation. So I will multiply the first equation by negative 1, and I add it, sorry, I need to multiply by negative 3 because the coefficient of x here is 3. So I need to multiply the first equation by negative 3, add it to equation 3, and then I will get the following. The same, the first equation will not change, okay? The second equation also will not change. But now the third equation, negative 3 times 1 plus 3, x disappeared. Negative 3 times 1, negative 3 plus 3, wow, y also disappeared. Excellent. Negative 3 times negative 1, 3z. 3z minus 7z, that's negative 4z. And negative 3 times 12, that's negative 36. So we divide by negative 4 to get the value of z. So z is 9. Now I go back to the second equation, back substitution. I put the value of z in the second equation, and I solve it for y. So I will have 2y equals negative 7 plus 18. So negative 7 plus 80, 3 times 9, 27, sorry, plus 27. So it's 20. So y would be 20 over 2, which is 10. Good. Now I use the values of x and y and go to the first equation to find the value of x. So y is 10, z is 9. So 10 minus 9 is 1. And when you take it to the other side, 12 minus 1 is 11. So the solution set of this system would be the ordered triple x first, then y, then z. So this is the solution set. Cost, revenue, and profit. The total cost is given by this and the revenue is given by this. Find the marginal cost. If you remember, the marginal cost is the slope of the cost. So it is 38.8. The marginal revenue is the slope of the revenue, which is 61.3. The marginal profit, we need to find the profit equation. And the profit equation is the revenue minus the cost. So it is 61.3 minus the cost function. So it would be now 61.3 minus 38.8 is 22.5 x and minus 4,500. So that's the profit function. So the marginal profit would be 22.5, the slope of the profit function. Now the last part of question 70, find the number of units required to break even. So to break even, the cost should be equal to the revenue. So we have 61.3, that's the cost, should be equal to the revenue, or since I have the profit function here, I can also use the fact that I can find the break even if I find the zero of the profit. So if the profit is zero, I have the profit, so I'll just find the zeros of the zero of the profits. I put the profit equals to 0. I take 4,500 to the other side. I divide 4,500 by 22.5, and the answer is 200. So this is the number of units I need to break even. A certain product has supply and demand functions. This is the supply and this is the demand, respectively. If the price is 53, so this is P, okay, P is 53, how many units are supplied? Okay, where is the supply function? This is the supply function. Let me solve for Q. Okay, so I know that it is 50, the price is 53. It would be equal to 4Q plus 5. This is the supply equation. So 4Q would be equal to 53 minus 5, which is 48. And hence Q is 48 divided by 4, which is 12. So 12 units should be supplied. 12 units are supplied when the price is 53. How many are demanded? Okay, so again P, the price is 53, but this time we put it in the demand equation and we solve for Q. So I can take 2Q to the other side, and then 2Q would be 81 minus 53, which is 28. So the number of units would be 14, 28 over 2. So 14 units are demanded when the price is 53. Does this give a shortfall or surplus? What do we have? We have demand greater than supply. So demand greater than supply. So all the units in the market will be taken and still more demand. We need more. So we have a shortfall uh, in this case. Find the market equilibrium. The market equilibrium when the demand equals the cost. Sorry, the supply. So the demand is P equals 4Q plus 5. So 4Q plus 5 should be equal to uh, the supply. This is the supply, 4x plus 5. The demand is negative 2Q plus 81. So negative 2Q plus 81. Remember, the coefficient of the demand, the slope of the demand is negative. The slope of the supply is positive. If you take negative 2 to the other side, we will have 6Q and 81 minus 5, that's 76. So the number of the market equilibrium or the equilibrium quantity would be 76 divided by 6. And uh, it would be about 12.7. Okay. And this is the market, this is the equilibrium quantity. 4Q plus 5 equals negative 2Q plus 81. So 4 plus 2, 6Q, yeah, equals 76. So that's the answer. Now to find the equilibrium price, we can use, for example, this equation. So 4 times, well, it is exactly 38 over 3. That's exactly the quantity plus 5. So I multiply and add 5. The answer is 167 over 3, or if you want, approximately 55.7. So that's the equilibrium point, 12.7 and $55.7. This is the price. This is the last question. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed studying this chapter. Have a nice time and study hard.